Hello, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hi there. Wow, there's actually a bunch of people here. It's a bit of a abrupt Fauna direct. I didn't get to announce as much earlier because I wasn't sure if I would have the time to talk about this today. But anyway, nice to see y'all in the chat. It's evening. Well, it's 5 p.m. here, so it's afternoon for me still. It's almost evening though, at least. Anyway, yes, hello there. I see a bunch of you folks. I see you Mop. I see you Ghosty. See you Pingu, Prawn, and Vixie. Thanks for these 16 months. Holy smokes, that's been so long already. See you Suj. Time. There's a bunch of y'all. Pingu, damn. You stayed up late, huh? Anyway. So yes. You banned Pingu for not sleeping. Damn, what a shame. Okay, wait, is the music too loud? Well, maybe just too loud for me. It might be just fine for you. The music's just fine, right? I'm just gonna use the main menu theme all throughout this. Hi there, Arnab. So again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Foxy. My name is... Oh, music's quiet as fuck? Well, I'm gonna raise it up then. Hope that's not too loud. That should be fine now, right? That's just gonna be our background music. Where are the main... Now, screw training stage. Anyway, so going now. Again, my name is Gaiji. I'm pretty sure most of you watching here already know that. I'm current head of the Fauna, and this is, you know, Fauna Direct 2023. I know. It's not 2023 yet. But the holidays are coming. And we don't really have any plotted out events for the remainder of the year. We couldn't really plan. I couldn't really plan. Rather, it's just me. I couldn't really plan anything on my part because I'm actually going to be doing stuff for this holidays. And by that, I mean the 24th, 25th. This weekend, I'm actually going to be preoccupied. So yeah, I couldn't really plot out events for the rest of this year. So I thought this might be a good time to start the direct, just to also set some expectations, or like to see where we've gone through rather than doing this next year. And of course, I know some of you who might not know, the Fauna Direct is something that the Fauna has been doing practically ever since. And yes, it is a parody of Nintendo Direct. I'm just gonna be discussing here, you know, so far what we've done, the current state of the Fauna, how things have changed. If you have any questions while I go through, please feel free to drop it there in the chat. This is not just going to be me doing a TED Talk. This is a dialogue. But I'll be here to talk about what we've gone through so far. So we're going to start off with what happened. It was 2022. What happened? Well, the start of this year was when I started, you know, managing the Fauna. As you know, Banana Soup is the founder of the Fauna. He relinquished the ownership to me at the start of 2022. It was shit. As you may know, it was mostly because he had other things that he had to focus on. So with that, I started managing the Fauna, and in that I kind of set my own goals for the Fauna, and I actually discussed those goals in the previous Fauna Direct. So to go over them real quickly, it was just a bunch of these. So the things that I kind of focused on were for the mod structure to be organized, update to the server rules, Hall of Fame improvements, the aesthetic revamp, and we sought out to get bracket managers and commentators and have an invitational tournament. So as you may know, the start of the year, Jive was added to the mod team, and we also made the specific mod roles that would make them each distinct. So like we had the organizer, community, support, design roles, so that the people in the community know who's in charge of what they're doing, what's their function practically there. And that was the whole idea of that. And as a result as well, we separated the event organizer role so that it was a bit more, again, distinct. Who's actually doing moderating and who's just there to just host events, not really to moderate like the Discord, the community. So that was the whole idea. So if that wasn't clear to you already, well, here that's the explanation to that. And of course, as most of you might have noticed, Mop was recently made mod just this Sunday. And I believe her activeness and contribution to the Fauna has been very significant throughout the year. And her keen attention to detail, pretty sure is going to be very handy for, you know, moderating. In turn as well, though, CADP Gamer, as some of you may know, has also stepped down from the moderation team. So it's kind of like a swapping position. But don't worry, CADP Gamer will still be around running events on occasion. It's just that he can't really be dedicating time to do moderating, and that's why he stepped down from the moderation team. But again, he's still around, and probably we'll be seeing him hosting an event next year. Play loop version of the music at least. Yep, sorry, I don't have that. I'm just using the Spotify one. Where can I find that? I don't know where to get the loop version. You know what? You're listening to Shadow. I don't care. Nah. We're listening to Shadow. Wait, we already listened to that. We're switching another song. There you go. Yeah, palm dogs are real. Yeah, they're living in my house. That's why. So yeah, anyway. I'm muting the server. So that's what happened with the mod structure. Just to be clear, that's what has transpired to that. Secondly, it's update the server rules. You don't want me to go into detail on this one. You could just read this over on the Discord server. But basically, the whole idea was to make it more specific with penalties also outlined, because there wasn't really any clear outlining of the rules. Like, most of them were vague before then, which is understandable. We were just building up a community. There was also not clear like penalties for offenses. Thankfully, we didn't have to implement any timeouts or several bans this year. Thank you everyone for being so cooperative. First bread of the day, here you go. Bread. So yeah, the server rules, they're just there. We haven't updated it since July, so make sure you read those rules. A year of no bans nor timeouts. Well, actually, there were 2 bans this year. But we don't talk about that. We just say there were bans. That's all. Alright. Now, other things that we also improved were the Hall of Fame. And thanks to that, thanks to Hitsuji, we were able to get the Lamb graduates portraits. So, before, it was just like a beginner's tournament. You win the tournament, voila, you graduate, that's it. But like, I felt like it would have been better if they were incentivized further. For just like graduating, for like winning the lambs, for finally, graduating as a lamb. And thus, yeah, we got Hitsuji's up for that. Yeah, he also worked on the Fauna's Finest top 4. Most of the other stuff also, like, Mop worked on the Fauna Fight Night and the Fauna's Finest qualifiers, bracket banners. The rest, yeah, I just did the others, etc. Wasn't even basically the other stuff that wasn't, there weren't major events. I just did those because I'm like, you know what, they could be whatever, I could just do them myself. So anyway, which kind of makes me think, like, yeah, okay, we have the Lamb graduates, pretty nice portraits. The Fauna Fight Night, it was fantastic. And then I don't know whatever this was. Oh yeah, the Oops All Mids, right? That was a thing. Oh yeah, the top 4, Suji worked in this, fantastic. And then we had this. I don't know if any of you remember the Fauna Ungulate International. Yeah, that's why I thought, you know what, maybe we didn't really do improvements. Maybe that isn't the right term. Anyway, I'm just joshing. The whole idea, yeah, I called it improvements, but it's more like making it consistent so that all of our events, the tournaments, had banners. And so that, people would be more inclined to share their achievements, like post it on Twitter. It's like, oh look, I won the tournament. See, my name is plastered here. I think it's really nice feeling when you're playing tournaments. Because I remember when I played in tournaments before, like, there were banners already before, and Hitsuji was working on them back in 2021, 2020. I'm pretty sure Hitsuji was the one who worked on some of those. But the rest of the, like, other tournaments, like the weekly ones, didn't have any banners at all. Which ones? There was the Fauna 06, Fauna 05, the one with... I'd show a picture, but I don't have that prepared. You only remember Fauna working on the Fight Night? No, I meant, like, before I existed. Like, before I even existed in the Fauna. I had the stream muted. You have with Ghosty. Anyway, there were already great banners before, but it's more like I felt like I wanted almost every event to have one, so that people would be inclined to share stuff. Like, hey, look, I played in tournament. I got to top 4. I won tournament. Look at this. That was the whole idea of having a banner. So yeah, we were able to have that at least consistently. And speaking of improvements as well with our, visuals, it's just the overall aesthetic revamp of the Fauna. As you may know, thanks to Mop, basically the entire thing was Mop's work. Big thanks to her, we got a mascot. Just, we just named them Fauna. Fauna doesn't have a gender. Use whatever genders you want, whatever pronouns you want for it. Okay, and we also have our logo now, which is, that the Fauna, the one that you see often. It's practically everything. Even the backdrop that I'm using right now, this is all Mop's work. The pronouns are Fauna and Sarah. So yes, thanks to that, we had the aesthetic revamp. I really feel like it looks really nice, and this is what I wanted for the Fauna to have more like of a uniform at the same time. Nice looking things, you know, just eye candy practically, because you know it's very appeasing to the eyes if you're just like playing tournaments and you see things like this. Keeps you more engaged. That was what I was feeling. Now there could be changes again in the future, you know, maybe our standards change, our ideas change. There could be more of these in the future, but practically I'm just happy that we were able to achieve this aesthetic revamp. So yeah, a consistent theme for our community, and we have an image, which is the Cero. Fantastic. And then we were also able to do the Invitational Tournament. Now this one wasn't a complete success in my books. We hosted it and finally named it Fauna's Finest. The goal was to have the top 8 Invitational, which was the same idea of like the warm-up spring season. If any of you remember that from... Was that last year? Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, that was last year. That was in 2021. The warm-up spring season. I really liked the idea of that one, and I thought that was really exciting. So I wanted to bring that back in some way, like in spirit. So that's why I wanted to bring the Fauna's Finest. Unfortunately, the energy motivation was a bit down low at this time. We didn't have enough participants for the tournaments to actually build up a top 8. What is going on? Interesting. Okay. So yeah, a bit unfortunate on that regard. Nonetheless, at least we were able to have the Invitational Tournament. We had our top 4, which were Tailnick, Itsuji, Jive, and Mop. Let's see, fantastic. The 3 of our mod staff are in the top 4. You can see their dedication in the game and in the community. But it's also great to see that recently, especially because of the EGS and the Texas release, the EGS free stuff, you know, the Epic Games Store stuff, we have the bunch of newcomers. Like, there was a lot of people who joined the Fauna recently. And, you know, obviously we can't expect everyone to stick around for too long, or like most of them to stick around, but I'm hoping at least a bunch of them would stick around. And that's why I'm trying. I'll try my best to provide and accommodate some engaging stuff for the community. And who knows? Maybe these newcomers will be the next generation of Fauna's Finest. So yes, we're definitely bringing back Fauna's Finest next year, or at least that's my goal. I will try to bring back Fauna's Finest next year, if I'll still be here. Carry the FGC? No. So yeah, that was the whole idea with the Invitational Tournament. I think this is still going to be supposed to be still a thing that the Fauna is going to have. Now, you may not have noticed, I skipped over the 5th one for a bit, which was about seeking new bracket managers and commentators. Yeah, around the start, we were able to get some lending hands. Some people actually helped out in the brackets and also helped out in commentary. Unfortunately, we couldn't really get people dedicated to like helping out in brackets. I mean, when I say dedicated, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that's their only job. Like, they could play in tournaments and still help out in brackets, but we just really couldn't get people who were willing to do it. It was nice to have other people in commentary, though, other than myself. I'm pretty sure people who have been watching Fauna tournaments are getting sick of my commentary, so it was refreshing to have Jive, Comma, and even Dismo recently on commentary. It was great. So, in line with that, since we weren't really completely successful in, you know, getting bracket managers and commentators, if you are interested, anyone's interested in helping out for this, please reach out to us. Tired of this guy commentary. Listen, I'm pretty sure people will eventually get sick of hearing the same person over and over again. So yeah. And again, it's kind of like an experience. If you're worried about like, I don't know how to do commentary, I've never done it before, I'm shy, I don't want to do it, this is where you start. This is where I started myself, so this could be also a start for you. Please just feel free if you are interested. Don't worry about making mistakes. We're just here to have fun. Yeah, experience is gonna come from somewhere. It's not just gonna eventually, wow, now suddenly you're a good commentator out of the blue. I don't think I'm even good at commentary myself still. But you know, we just keep winging it. So yeah, that's with that. And I believe for the most part, I think at least we're able to work on the pipeline, the things that we set as our goals. If you could speak clearly and quickly, again, Tail Nick, this is what we've been saying. We understand you're worried about that, but it's just about trying. Just trying. And you will eventually get better at it. Don't worry about it making mistakes. So let's also talk about other events that happened, because, you know, these weren't the only things that happened. There were a bunch of things, such as the one that was mentioned earlier, the Fauna Ungulate International, the open bracket tournament. Unfortunately, we were only able to host this twice. It was really difficult to organize this one because of the schedule. Because we're trying to, like, cater to open region. We couldn't really get people at the right time, so it was kind of hard. And eventually just fell off. Maybe it could make a return. Survival of the Fittest. We even recently hosted one of these, which was the Texas edition. Dispersed to one single elimination bracket. We also kept it open region, because why not? And funny enough, there was a thing with how actually it started with Banana Soup Arcade Weekly. Then we changed it to Fauna Weekly. And then it became Fauna Wednesdays. And then we just changed it to Fauna Fight Night. This was supposed to be a regular tournament, but admittedly, I guess it was a bit hard for me to, like, host this every time. So couldn't keep it regular. But we'll still try to keep it the regular tournament nonetheless. Just like, it's not just weekly or whatever. But we'll keep you posted. But other than our online events, there were also a bunch of, like, the Philippine offline meetup, Singapore offline meetup. There was even our presence at Rev Major. If some of you didn't know, we were at Rev Major. So there was that. Although it was just mostly the Philippine folks again, since, you know, it was held in the Philippines. And of course, there was the Fauna versus TFH Brazil, our collaboration with our friends over at Brazil, where we did a crew battle. I personally had fun with all of these events. So, want to know if any of you are interested in seeing any of these particular coming back. Maybe you want offline meetups to happen more. Maybe you want some other tournaments that happen, like Muddle Fuddle, to come back. Yeah, I didn't show an image of that here. And maybe we could also do a crew battle. Or maybe, you know, ping a nudge nudge. Maybe with EU, we could have an event as well. Nudge nudge. But anyway, yeah, there's probably a bunch more that I missed out or forgot that changed or happened throughout the Fauna. So, if you have any questions about that, or if you want to raise it, just let me know. Please just say it in the chat. Don't worry. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened all throughout with 2022. That's pretty much it. You say in the chat. What do you say in the chat? You may be in touch then. Fantastic. So anyway, again, obviously just the whole idea is to keep it engaging, keep it all fun. We net playing. I mean, we're already net playing in Asia. Bread. You like that? Alright, anyway, so I think that's pretty much covers the important stuff, or at least some of the stuff that happened in 2022. You know, the year's ending, so there isn't really much new that's going to come. Of course, we had the Texas release, the EGS, a lot of newcomers. There's also that. We're now in version 4.0. I can't believe it. What we do. Now let's talk about the current state of the Fauna. So, like, where are we at right now? I previously addressed this in a way to talk about where we are at right now. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Sarby. So, has anything changed with our vision? Did we have any shift in focus? I don't think so. Like, I still believe that our main goal is still to foster a competitive scene in the Asia-Pacific region. Now, most especially to the newcomers in the community, you would acknowledge this, recognize this as that is a huge scope. in other fighting games, even Southeast Asia and East Asia are separated, like just mainly because of connectivity limitations. So, this is understandably kind of like a concern with the, ping stuff is a thing, and it does affect the, how to call this, the quality of play in tournaments. So who knows? Are there going to be prospects of more region-locked tournaments with more thorough connection checks in the future? Or is there going to be Southeast Asia-only tournaments, Japan and Korea-only tournaments, like really more region-locked? What do you think of that? Because for me, whatever the case is, the Fauna community started and grew like this, so this will not change. The Fauna will still be catering to Asia Pacific, will still be open to Russia and Oceania. This will not change because this is how the Fauna grew up. If there are going to be branches of the community, I believe that is completely fine. After all, there's always has been already a Russian server. There's always been an Oceania server. There's even a Japan server, Discord servers. It's just that generally the community's been small, and that's why most people just flock into the Fauna just to have a bit of a taste of the competitive scene. But now that the community is growing, maybe the branches will show up a bit more. Who knows? Either way, my focus is the Fauna right now, so I'll only be looking at the Fauna in the meantime. Now, I mentioned our main goal is to foster a competitive scene. However, just because our focus are tournaments and all that stuff, that doesn't mean that if you don't compete, you're not welcome in the Fauna. No, that we are a community. So the casual aspect is part of what Fauna is. As you may know, we have watch-alongs, Among Us sessions. What else do we have? Like the Scribbleio, Gartic Phone. Oh yeah, the Gartic Phone was the most recent one. We also have Jackbox parties. Whatever else there is. Basically, here in the Fauna, we're a community. And we can build a relationship as a community through TFH into something more. So we just don't end with just like TFH is just what we are. It's kind of like just the thing that makes us related in a way, I guess. Among Us, when was the last time we played it? You know what? Fair enough. We actually haven't played Among Us in a while. It's more like Goose Goose Duck. I think most of us have been enjoying Goose Goose Duck more than Among Us, and they're pretty similar games. So yeah. I just wanted to emphasize that we are a community, so we're definitely open to doing these sort of things. If you also want to host your own like fun stuff, it doesn't even matter if you're from Asia. Like literally, Bikehaf hosts Goose Goose Duck in the Fauna. He's literally an American. We just let him. Why? Because it's fun, and because we can play it together. So we can just do that. I believe there's nothing wrong with that. Again, our main goal in the Fauna is to have the tournaments, the competitive aspect, but the fun stuff is also part of what we do. So if you're not competing, you're completely welcome here. You can just like watch tournaments, just leave it to that. You don't even have to. Just, actually know something about TFH maybe. Anyway, so that's where the Fauna is right now. We haven't really changed. I just wanted to make this clear, or at least this is how I envision the Fauna. Do you envision the Fauna differently? You can just let me know. So, with that, what's next? Like, we've discussed things that happened. We've discussed what we are, where we are right now, but what's going to happen in the future? No Ponytown. No, that's not gonna happen as long as I'm here. I mean, admittedly, I'm trying my best as well to not like infect the Fauna with just PT, because that April Fool's show. Yo, yeah, that is a significant event that happened, right? In the Fauna. I should have listed that earlier. The April Fool's joke. We became an MLP Discord server for jokes. Yes, I'm trying my best. I'm sorry, Pingu. I'm actually trying my best. But as you know, it's just part of what I enjoy, so it's just gonna come out whenever. I'm unhinged, maybe. But anyway, that's why I kept my own personal Discord server separate. I'm trying! What do you mean I'm not trying? I literally have my own server for that. if you read my About Me in the Fauna, it says there that if you want to do PT shenanigans, DM me, so that I keep it separate from the Fauna. And so, like, if you want to do the PT shenanigans, you come in my server, and then we just do it there. Like, I understand. Like, I'm pretty sure most people aren't really bothered by it. Like, it's actually completely fine. Or rather, it's fine. It's tolerable. But the thing is that it's a TFH Discord server. So I don't want to, like, also just, like, litter around the other things that I enjoy that aren't really TFH related. So admittedly, I am trying to keep it separate. So, yes, indeed, Telnik. What's next? Well, honestly, there really isn't much to innovate from here on. After all, we're just really a community, an organization for tournaments. We can't really do much more than that. We're not main six, we're not the ones developing the game. We're just mostly here to enjoy the game. So pretty much, we're still gonna be running the Fauna Fight Nights and the Lambs next year. They're just going to be the regular events. We're also going to try to bring back other events based on the community demand. Speaking of which, it's really important for us, once we're organizing the events, to hear from you. Because we're not psychic. We don't know what community wants if we don't hear it from them. Because we're trying to keep it enjoyable for everyone. We want to hear your suggestions. We want to hear your thoughts. And that's why we have the suggestions box. So please feel free to use the suggestions box in the Discord server. We read all of them. Or at least I do. I don't know if the other mods do. I'm pretty sure they do. No, actually we do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do, because we literally just discussed this. Yeah, we discussed this like last Saturday. Yeah, we did. Oh, no, not Saturday. Last Friday. Yeah, we did. We just did. So I'm pretty sure everyone reads it. Like, all the mods read this, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm sure, Sergi. Don't worry. I just, like, for a second, I was like, I don't want to speak for them. But then when I said that, I said, like, oh, that sounds like I'm speaking negatively of them. Howdy, Cosman. So yeah, we read the suggestions box. We take them into high consideration. So, especially because of this, right now, we're looking into bringing back the salt mine runs for next year. CADP Gamer, we asked to hopefully organize this and bring it back next year. We're also slowly updating the VODs to have the bracket links and timestamps. And again, this is all because of your suggestions. Like, admittedly, some things we overlook, some things we are just kind of like lackadaisical. We don't really put much attention or detail to it because we just don't think of it. And yeah, I'm still not done with that, by the way, the Fauna bracket links in the VODs. It takes a lot of time. It's pretty time consuming. And I'm looking for the bracket links myself. I'm like getting lost. Oh shit. But hopefully by next year, I can fix that all already. Other than that, we're also looking into organizing the Discord channels more. We'll be putting up a fax channel or maybe other stuff as well. Again, if you have suggestions on how we could improve, like even if it's just a nitpick, like you're just annoyed, like, oh, why don't we have this on the server? It could have just make it a little bit easier. Or like just this, oh yeah, the channel names. That's one thing I'll change. The Battleground, by the way, the Battleground channel. Yeah, I learned that was actually confusing for a lot of the newcomers. So we're gonna change that channel name to make it easier. Anyway, so yeah, we're just going to revamp just a little bit, polish it up, the server. If there are other nitpicks that you have, feel free to just drop them in the suggestions box. Like, don't be intimidated by the suggestions box. It's just an avenue for you to post your thoughts. You can just say it here in chat as well while you're at it. And again, I already said this earlier from the start, but like, if you wish to host your own event, and even if it doesn't even have to be under the Fauna. If you want it under the Fauna, or you would just want to do it by yourself, feel free. This isn't really competition. The more events there are, the more everyone in the TFH community enjoys. And if you need our help, or if you need my help, well, our help actually, I'm pretty sure everyone's willing to help. We can just extend that help to you. In the same manner, like how I started out, as I've said, I just wanted to host the Muddle Fuddle tournament. I asked for like ideas from other people in the Fauna. I developed the Muddle Fuddle tournament format. I said I wanted to host it. Banana Soup let me. And that's where it all started. It was my first time to host a tournament. That was my first time to commentate anything my whole life. Like, I've never hosted a tournament nor commentated anything before that. That was my first shot. And it just kept rolling from there. It could be the same for you if you have some ideas that you just want to get started with. So please feel free to just approach us. We're not gatekeeping running events. That's what I'm just trying to say. All right, so that's all that I have actually to say. So are there any questions? is there anything y'all want to say? Because again, this is all for everyone. And again, maybe next week I might bring up something as a quick event. Who knows? I have no promises though because it's really busy. Yes, question. Is that... I can't believe there wasn't any announcement about X. This is the worst direct ever. Alright, okay, you want me to bring out a calendar. Do we need extra measures for newcomers? Sorry, what do you mean by extra measures for newcomers? Like making a role react to access main channels. Oh, you mean like that? Like filters. The thing is, we do have something sort of like that already. And it's that when you join the server, you immediately are greeted by a welcome screen, which it's not just a welcome screen actually. Like, what's that? There's the rule screening. So like if you join, it shows you like the main rules, and you actually have to say that you understand and accept it. There's also a section that says there like read welcome for more details of the rules. So there's already a section of that. I feel like that's enough filter already. So that's why I personally don't think that it's necessary. Does everyone else think that might be necessary? Or maybe we could put this in the suggestions box. But like off the bat, like just my opinion straight off the bat, I feel like it's not necessary anymore since we already have a role screening, which is using the Discord function by itself, not needing the roles react. That's just my opinion off the bat. But we could get back to this. We could reconsider this. There's no need for anything else then. Okay. Well, anyway, we might revisit it. Anyone else? It's like a Q&A log. It's like, is there any questions? So yeah, I just want to reassure that some of the past events we may be bringing back according to community demand. It's just that we don't really want to just host, like, for example, suddenly Muddle Fuddle out of the blue if no one's really expressed any interest in partaking that. It feels like a bit of a waste to do. And that's why we're just not like preemptively running these events. But there's gonna be a bunch more, like Fauna Party. I'm pretty sure Keaton's will be bringing that back. When are we banning puns? Never. There's no 5.0. Well, I'm not main 6. You have interest in Muddle Fuddle? Well, let's wait for the next character to release, and then you'll be part of you can join Muddle Fuddle. 1984. What do you mean 1984? All right. Oh yeah, thank you. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Yes. All right. Oh hey, look, they want to offer promotion of our channel. Wow. Like, everyone, just go to dodgehype.com. I don't fucking know. Yeah, thank you. Or being offered promotion. Fantastic. So popular. Either time. Either Locrian. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. If you guys don't have any questions, maybe you have questions later on, some other suggestions that you want to raise later on. So make use. You can just use the general chat. You can also post in the suggestions box if they're like direct suggestions. If you have like just quick questions, you can go to general or fauna assistance. Doesn't really matter which channel. But just make sure to be on the Discord. So yeah, I guess that's all. I don't really have anything much to say. And it's been 40 minutes since I ran the stream, so I think that's all the time I have for today. So I have to go back and play Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. So thank you guys so much. Bye-bye. By the way, I don't even have a 3DS. I've never played Animal Crossing. Lamau.